Welcome back to my channel for this week's Human Design Transit Report. And today is Monday, March 27th. And I'm excited because today we get to talk about my Incarnation cross because this week is my birthday. Yoo-hoo! Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. So on Thursday, March 30th, the sun is going to move into the gate 21 and the earth is going to move into the gate 48. Let's go ahead and get started with the gate 48. In traditional human design, the 48 is known as depth or the well, and in quantum human design is known as wisdom. And so with the earth lighting it up, this is the energy that we want to ground ourselves in. So like I said, this is my Incarnation cross, so I know these two energies super well. And I know when I first learned the name of this as depth or the well, I was kind of like, what is that? Like, I just could not wrap my mind around it, right? And then when Karen renamed it as wisdom, I was like, oh. And so this energy is really good for learning. It's really good for research. It's really good for diving deep into something, getting to know something. It's in the logic circuit. And so it's kind of a systematic energy of wanting to really become an expert in something. This is something that helped me so much, like when I was in graduate school and when I was a professor. And now when I'm writing my book and really throughout my life, because I am a lifelong learner for sure. And this is a kind of lifelong learner energy. It's kind of like the one energy. If you're a first line, you know what that is in the profiles, right? The investigator really wants to get deep into whatever it is they want to get into. But the 48 doesn't have the kind of narrowness that the first line can have. So it's really a beautiful energy for you to study, to get a depth of knowledge about something that you are passionate about, that you want to ground yourself in, that you want to be kind of your ballast, if you will, or your tether in the world. I know that for me, the study of consciousness has been with me forever. It's expressed itself in really different ways, depending on what I was into at the time. But when I look back at my life now, I go, oh, the through line there really is this sense of being interested in consciousness. And it's something I've spent my whole life investigating, if you will, or becoming wise about. The 48 is on the Spleen Center, so it does have a fear because all of the gates of the spleen have a fear. So let's just remember the Spleen Center is the center for instinct and intuition and the immune system and timing. And the fear comes from when we get stuck in a kind of instinctual survival mode kind of energy. The fears of the spleen can be helpful, but only if there's real and present danger, right? And it's short-lived. It's not meant to be this kind of ongoing, underlying, I'm afraid of X, right? And for the 48, it would be the fear of not knowing enough. So when we have this lit up in the chart, we want to be paying attention to if we have that kind of sense of like, oh, I can't pursue that, or I can't get involved in that, or I can't speak up about something because I don't know enough. Now, for people who have it defined in their charts, like me, my experience has usually been that those people know a lot about whatever it is they got involved in. I'm kind of like that. But when it's transiting like this, it's really an opportunity for you to take action to get more into something that you're interested in. Maybe something that you've been putting off or something that hasn't been, on the front burner, but that would really benefit you if you were to develop a deeper understanding and a deeper knowledge of that. So that's a really a good use of that energy. So the sun will be lighting up the gate 21, which is on the will center, and it's in the commerce circuit of the tribal circuit. And in traditional human design, it's known as the treasurer, although I think when I first learned about it, it was control. And in quantum human design, it's been renamed self-regulation. This is an interesting energy. When I first was learning about it, I was like, And I thought, well, yeah, there definitely, when I was younger, I was definitely more controlling. I think that I thought that that was the way you kind of made your way in the world, right? Was to have power, to assert your power, to be in, command or control of situations that were going on. I didn't really get what the issue was with that. I was young. And then as I grew, I started to be like, oh, wow, there's something kind of off about this energy, this controlling energy. And I started to work with it more. And like I said, I was really interested in consciousness. And so I was like, well, what is it about this desire that I have? Then when I came to human design and learned this thing about control, I was like, well, what is the better expression of this, right? Then when I came to human design, it was like, well, what is the more elevated or the more awakened expression of that? And it was the treasurer, which is what we have here. And the way that I learned this was that this is half of the money line. So its mate is the 45, which is on the throat. And that complete channel is called the money line in traditional human design. And the idea here is that the 21 kind of receives the money that's coming through that commerce circuit and then sends it to the sovereign, which is the 45. Now, in a more awakened tribe, right, then the 21 would be the person who goes, okay, we got 30 pigs and we got 50 bushels of corn, and we're going to divide this up among the community so that the people who have 8 kids, they're going to get, more bushels of corn than the people who don't have any kids at all, right? So they're kind of distributing, looking at how does that work, right? And the sovereign is kind of like, yes, this is the way that we need to do it. So it was like this ability to be looking at all the resources and thinking about what's the best way for these resources to get used. It's also an energy I've heard called like a CEO energy, like somebody who understands what the resources are in a company and can see how they need to be distributed, how there need to be more resources coming in and generated, but then, really kind of managing how everything is distributed, right? And also a little bit of a project manager energy. Now, I did recognize that project manager energy. I've actually been a project manager, but I don't really like it. It's not like something that floats my boat. I've had people, I ran an academic program when I was at Columbia. I've had people who wanted me to run their academic programs. I was hired actually to do that for an online education company for a very brief period of time. And I was like, no, I'm not designed to work for anybody. And I'm definitely not designed to be a CEO of somebody else's company. So that's where I had a little bit of a challenge with this energy of the 21. I was like, well, okay, control, okay, we want to evolve beyond that. But then being the CEO, that wasn't something I really wanted to do either. So then when it was renamed into self-regulation in quantum human design, I definitely related more to that. But I still have my own spin on it because it is tribal energy. So it's not just about the self. It's not just about me regulating my own energy, right? Self-regulation of my own resources. Yes, it is that, but it's also part of the commerce circuit. So it is about me regulating my own resources as I am an entrepreneur. I've been working for myself for a long time. I need to be able to manage, the money that's coming in and going out in my business and so on. Like, yes, there is that. But it's also a tribal energy. So it's also about how do I relate to other people. So for me, yes, it is self-regulation, regulating my own energy, making sure that I get enough rest and I eat right and I get exercise and I get time outside. I do my kriyas and I do all the things that really uplift me and make sure that my energy is strong and clear and that I'm not going to be running at a deficit, right? So that is true. But I also see it as how I relate to people in my tribe and how I am here to be distributing the knowledge that I also have generated through that 48, right? Because that 48 generates all this knowledge, right? And then that's going to get distributed because knowledge is a resource as well. It's not just money and it's not just energy, right? Knowledge is a resource. So for me, I ground myself really in that wisdom and that knowledge of the 48, and then look at how does it get distributed out? How can those resources be given out into my tribe, which is what I'm all about. That's why I create these videos for you. It's why I have my online community, the Becoming Sovereign Virtual Retreat Center, where I do live events every month and I give you curated courses. And because I'm constantly kind of curating knowledge for you and distributing it out. So for me, this is how that 48 and that 21 show up for me. Now, for somebody else, it might be a little bit different. So for you, you might look at, where do I need some more wisdom? Where can I turn some kind of knowledge that I have? Could even be information still. Because you get information and then you need to integrate it and work with it. And then it starts to become knowledge. And that can go on for a while, right? It doesn't become wisdom until you've really kind of made it your own, right? You've activated it and used it in your own life, and you've come up with your own take on it. That's when it's wisdom. So where is that for you in your life that you can take something and really kind of elevate your understanding of it? And then how might you distribute it, right? If you're thinking about this 21, which is about, sharing resources, managing resources, making sure that the resources get out to the people that they need to, in a way that you are always going to be aligned with yourself. So you're not depleting yourself when you're doing that. You want to watch out for that, because you want to make sure that you have what you need. And then you're giving from the overflow, right? You're giving from the overflow. You're not giving so that you're at a deficit. So what might that be for you? You'll have tons of energetic support to do that. So, for example, if you are a content creator, or if you're a teacher, or if you are a coach, or you're a healer, or in any way that you're working with clients, this could be a really good energy for you to look at this piece, right? Where do you want to build some more wisdom, and how do you want to share it with other people? It's been very, very good for me. So as you're contemplating this for yourself, I would love if you would comment about it in the comments below, because I learned so much from the things that, people like you share in the comments. I really do. I read all of them. I try to respond to all of them. Sometimes I'm late, but I do my best on that. But I really do read all of them. And I am very interested in how this kind of information lands for you, because I'm very practical, right? I want human design to be an ally for you in your life. I want these gates and these transits to be allies for you, so that you can utilize it, so that you can step out of the tyranny of the mind and learn how to work with your energy and the energies that are coming to us in a more practical and more effective way. And finally, I want to let you know that I did a really awesome an awesome class on Mars and on Aries and the spring equinox and so on, that is now uploaded inside of the Becoming Sovereign Virtual Retreat Center, so you can access it there. And then also the Kriya that goes with it is already uploaded there as well. So I'll put the link for that down below, and then also at the end of the video. So if you want to know more about the energies that are happening right now and that are going to be carrying us through this season that we're in now, then go ahead and check those out. All right. Many blessings. Much love.